we're going to work a little bit on this passing position here, okay? So standing against seated. So this is like not just a training drill, so position. So very often, like, you know, we'll start sparring from seated and standing. Okay, standing seated, and we'll go for a score, or we start our positions from there, or what have you. But very often, even when I'm like passing my opponent's guard here, like I'm in the kneel position, or he's had me in half guard or close guard, anything like that, and I stand up and come out, this is going to happen as well. Okay, so this is like something that we can use for any position you want. So sometimes when we see it for the first time, when you're white belt or whatever, you think to yourself, when in the world am I ever going to fight a guy who just sits down on his backside? And the answer is Jiu Jitsu, right? But if you think about the competition as well, the guy pulling guard, sitting pulling guard, so when we stand here, target makes contact and sits, he can just do that if he wants to, as long as he makes contact with me. Okay, once he takes a grip, he can sit. Okay, some other competitions, you can just sit. You don't have to worry about making contact first. Okay, most of the time in the rules, so you must make contact first. So, my job is to pass his guard. There's basically three ways you can pass a dude's guard, right? Straight down the middle, like shin cuts. Okay, so through the guard. Around the outside, like Torianders and stuff like that. Or underneath the guard, or semi-underneath the guard, with like over-under position, double under position. Like that. Or even, someone like stuff as you get more advanced, the crab ride positions as well. Okay, we're not going to worry about those too much. Okay, today. What I want to focus on today is correct posture and positioning, and we're going to use like a couple of examples in the guard, but it's going to be about how you lead, how you start your fight, how you start this. So, what I want to try and give you tonight is a plan to pass the guard, because the vast majority of the times, actually, when you see people rolling and they're struggling to pass the guard, it's because they didn't have a plan of attack. They just had an idea and would see what happens, you know, when we enter the guard, okay? So, what's Park trying to do from here? You can sit for shin to shin, okay, here like this, begin like this, take a grip and put spider, here, like this, or any other of the open guards. He can put my foot in, he goes like and puts Telahiva in, here like this, okay, like so. Don't worry about these guards if you don't know them, you don't understand them yet. X guard, single leg X guard, pull me down to half guard, close his guard, try and pull me down as a closed guard. Anything at all is he could be looking for. And the short answer to the next question is, how do I pass all of those guards? The answer is, I don't pass any of those guards because I don't want to get into them in the first place. If they happen along the way, I'm looking to try and engineer like to get out of them and pass them that way. But this time we're just talking about like a completely neutral position, here like this. I'm passing his guard, and he hasn't established anything yet. So if I do this right, he never gets to like pass the guard. He never gets to like put a guard on me, and instead I'm passing all the time. Does that make sense? So if I do this right, I'm always on the attack, he's always on the defensive. Okay? So let's work on it for the first thing. We're going to go around for the first position, right? First fight. What's the first fight? Grips. Always still. So if he like, easily gets like a grip on my collar here like this, he can break my posture quite easily, just pull me down, and I'm going to end up with no balance, and I'm going to end up maybe getting pulled into one of his guards. So I'm going to make sure my hands are leading here like this. Knees bent, okay, and you can see that my head is kind of leading forward. The reason for that is, if I'm up here, my hands are quite distant away from my legs. He's going to sit into any one of the guards he wants. Shin to shin we spoke about earlier. When he's here like this, he sits to shin to shin. You can see that it's quite a distance for him to travel because I got my hands in the way. Okay? So we're always pulling in with the hands. Today what we're going to start with is like a, sometimes called like X-pass, truck driver pass, anything, loads and loads of different things. I'm going to lean forward, and I'm going to bring my hand to his hip and my hand to his knee at the same time. When I do it, I'm like squatting, but I'm not dropping to my knees, I'm going to my toes. So for this position here, hand fighting, drop here, push, easy pass. Okay? For most people, when you get to advanced level, this is an entry to your next pass. It's not going to pass the guy's guard. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll fly by. But for the most of the part, this will be like one, and then he's going to come back, enter again, have to go again, or cut, or whatever it is we're going to do. But for now, we're going to use it as a straightforward guard pass. So squat, hand fight, hand here and here, Up to your toes, push with your hand, and spin him on his tailbone. Okay? Quite effective as a pass in itself or an entry into your other passes. So this is our first little drill. Going out the outside. Hand fight, hand fight. Hand here and here. Up to your toes. Rotate the pass. Okay? What I don't want to see you do is jump to the side on this pass. So when we do it in a little more detail later, you'll see why. But from here, we're not doing this. Because this means you'll just fall to the side and re-pummel. Okay? Come back in and regain his guard. Instead, I want him spinning his tailbone. So notice that my feet don't move. He does all the moving. Almost like sprawling. Oh, good. Just like a drill. Yeah, back and forth, back and forth. Many times as you can in the next couple of minutes. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's focus on a couple of bits and pieces. So again, like we're gonna go like broad. Like it's not about the technique that we did there or anything like that. The idea is that we're hand fighting first, good posture. Okay, this position here like this. Okay, good like head low position to block like any guard to your hips or to your lower body. Okay, and so that you're able to hand fight as well, effectively. Okay, so we spoke about going around. The concept I want to introduce you to kind of too is that like there's a couple of passes that break this rule. Okay, like I'll show you like straight over to mount, where I like do almost nothing just like we used to call the buckaroo pass or something like that. And it's a couple of like cartwheel passes, spectacular passes where you're going to jump over. I've got a cool name for those. No, it's not cool. I've got a witty name for those. It's really funny. I call them bypasses. Because you're bypassing things, right? Most things involve like hand fight, leg control, hip control, and then once you lock in the upper body, you're past. Right? So 3 things. Legs, hips, upper body. Right? But I'd actually add like 3.5 to it because the first one is going to be the hands. Okay? So once I get to the hands, I start to control the legs. Okay? In the pass that we showed there just a second ago, it's the legs and hips actually at the same time. And then when I get here, I need to lock in his upper body. I need to make sure that I get like upper body control to really finish the pass. Other than that, it becomes just like another scramble and he's going to regain, he's going to come back. Okay? Now, where's the big mistake when you're a beginner? Straight to the upper body. Okay? That's a common mistake, jumping in, grabbing the head. But also like there's other ones as well, where I go like here, and even when I get like good stuff and I get past the legs, I forget about his hips, I hook his upper body. Lots of space to come back and regain. So I'm going to give you like a pathway. Legs, hips, hip control, lock in his hips, and then go through your upper body. Now, lots of times you're going to break that rule when you have a good guard to go against, someone like good blue belt, purple belt, brown and black belts, obviously, you're going to need to follow it like 95% of the time. Unless you get like lucky, you get like I say, a bypass. Okay? They're less common than you think. So, let's work on the same principle now, okay? But I'm going to pass like without like kind of doing what we did, like with a jumping pass. So from here, barring now myself, we're in a bit of a harder grip fight. It's a slower round, and possibly even he goes to his back, maybe tries to get his feet on my hips. Here, my hips. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Gripping his hip and gripping this time, because now we're in a grip fight. Okay, and we're in here in this like spider guard position. Elbows close and good posture here like this. I'm going to grip his pocket, keep my elbow on the inside, keep that foot off my hip. This one I'm going to do something about in a second. Okay? So what am I doing here? I'm controlling the legs. Okay? Controlling the legs, my elbow, and the knee on the outside here like this. Another concept that I like to show you is that his hips are like a barrel. Okay? So I can roll him, rock, move him side to side. From here, I want him pretty square when I go to do this. Okay? So we're going to do the same pass. I'm going to be on my toes. I'm going to place my weight like Superman through his hip. I'm going to jump back, rotate underneath, and go here. Okay? Now when we teach our time, sometimes, okay, the pass is over. I've got past his legs. But once I release here, the guy's gonna come back, re-pummel, and he'll go again. So let's come over here for a second. So if you just face this way, let's go back, he goes back. We're in the hand fight, I've lost it a little bit. I take my grips on the knee and on the hip. I'm gonna hop back, do this pass, but then the next thing I need to do is what? If I let go and just go to the upper body, he's gonna regain. So when I go back, go here, I'm gonna come to his hips, like this. So I'm actually gonna pin his hips, okay? As you improve, you'll start to travel across his legs. But for today, let's just work on getting him flat again. Okay, so I'll pin his hips. After that, he's got lots and lots of options. He's gonna be trying to like frame on me, come up on his elbow, scoot out here like this. Just come back for 1 second. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a grip on his neck, up with the horseshoe grip at the back of his collar, and stop him from coming up. And now, I'm gonna start to creep up his upper body. When I get an opportunity, I go mount. You might always want the camera there. I think your ass is gonna be in there on a highlight reel. Let's watch again. So from here, hip, knee, back, straight to his hips. Now I'm controlling his hips. He starts to come up. I can take grip on his collar, go to here, grip on his collar and start to work my way up, staying on my toes, up to his upper body, until I get the opportunity to come to the upper body and finish the pass. Okay? So again, not really going like specifically for technique, but just giving you the idea of what you need to do. Like this for every pass, almost every pass, of course not all. Okay? So let's do it again. This time, your opponent's going to have 2 grips, 2 feet on the hips. 1, establish your control on this hip and on the outside knee. Get your own grips now. Use the elbow to clear that foot. From here, back and onto your toes, straight back, and remember that your toes stay stuck to the mat the whole time. Don't move now, don't move, he moves. Rotate, seal in his hips. Work your way up. Whatever way you want to stick the upper body, that's how you're going to get the pass. So slowly what we're going to do the pass, and then have your partner, when you get to the hip stage, give you a little bit of resistance, and you're going to work your way towards getting up to the upper body. Make sense? Light resistance. Let's go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. You want to have a plan. So for just this pass, I have like a plan in my mind. I want to get to his hip and I want to get to the outside knee. So what I'm trying to say to you is that whether I get it from here in this open position, or whether I get it from where he has like already established the guard, I gotta get there. Okay, that's my plan to pass. So what does that tell you? If he goes to the De La Hiva position now, goes to De La Hiva guard, again guys don't worry about too much of here. Not too familiar with the guard. The plan's gonna be to get back out here. It's my pass, it's what I wanna do. Okay? And then I can go. So I'm always looking to get back to that position to pass. And that means that not only do I have like a plan for when things are going well for me and I'm leading, I have a plan that I'm going to step out to when I'm not leading. So in other words, when he has like a good guard on me, that I'm going to try to get to positions that suit me. Okay, does that make sense? So where we fall apart in this position is go to the lead again. So we go on my ankle here and everything. Where we fall apart here is we get stuck in here and we go, I just need to like not get overbalanced, or I'm gonna try something here, but this is the equivalent of a guy being in like side control. Jiu-Jitsu guards are so dangerous. This is one of the key things in Jiu-Jitsu is our guard positions. Okay, probably the thing that makes Jiu-Jitsu so unique is the fact that we have the guard position on bottom, right? So, especially as you go up the levels, this guy has seen probably everything you're gonna try to do. So your priority really here is that I always think if I get stuck in a good guard like this, it's like red. No, not everybody here has heard of what we talk about with escapes. When we talk about escapes, we go green, amber, red. Red is like, get out, you know, when you're like nearly tapping. Amber is like danger, and green is like, okay, I need to anticipate. So if I'm here, I start to think about this as red. So when you're passing, I shouldn't have let him get here. This is not a passing position. I need to clear, get somewhere where I can pass from, not try to like forge ahead and hope for the best. Makes Make sense? Even when we talk about close guard. Like, again, how am I going to pass the guard from here? I can't bring my knees up, I can't do anything. What do we teach? Get to standing, open the guard. Into my position again to pass. So that applies whether your pass is like your favorite pass is the shin cut, going down the middle, double under pass, anything like that. So same thing here, pummeling for like double under. From there, instead of waiting for him to do something, go to your double under to do from there. Cutting, shin cutting to try to do that. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? Okay. So we're gonna go live. It's basically what everybody came here for. Everybody sits through this shit going, come on, get on with it. So when we go live, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start first of all with 2 grips established. So I'm gonna let you guys get here and be on your toes. Okay? At this stage, guys, I want this guy playing like 50%. Again, maybe 1 or 2 guys haven't heard this before. Training, when we do this part of training, should be like a volume knob, goes 1 to 11, okay? Number 1, I'm practically letting him do it all the time, like what you were doing there. That's number 1. 11 is like, I'm 100% resistant. I'm not gonna let the guy have anything. Okay, I'm not gonna let him get a sniff, or at least I'm gonna try. When we're training here, we need to dial it up or dial it down. It's not a case of being a 5 all the time. When we're training in these positions, you want to dial up or dial down depending on how well your partner's getting on. And that could mean that they have a black belt or a white belt. So I could be like struggling with this position. I struggle to do new technique all the time. I'm a terrible learner, right? So I don't learn really well. So I need Parig to like dial up or down. So if I'm in this position here, and Parig is going, and I never pass, I always keep getting sweat. Parig needs to dial back because I need some success, okay? The idea is you need some success. And when you fail, it should be because you made a mistake, not because this guy's better or going too hard. Does that make sense? All right. Equally, if Parig just flops to the side, woe is me, I've had my guard passed again. That's also pretty useless, right? It's just as useless as, in fact, I'd sooner he was the jerk at 11 than the number 1 guy who rolls over, okay? So you need to have some sort of resistance, do things that are realistic, but also understand that your opponent is trying to do something new, okay? Dial it up or dial it down. I'll tell you to dial it up or dial it down if I see you at the end. Most people, purple belts, blue belts, they know it. They do that pretty well. Make sense? Okay. All right. We'll do that for now, and then the next, I'll explain what we're going to do in the next drill, okay? So what we're going to do is, if you get a pass or if you get swept, swap over, just keep swapping. Make sense? No timer on. Good to go? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. The question is, just go to your back again. The same question you had earlier. I get here, I'm able to clear the foot off his hip using my elbow, the elbow on the inside. But this guy is tall, long and rangy. And when I go here, I'm not able to get back. The leg is stuck to me. I'll show you the fancy one, and then I'll show you the one I'll actually recommend, okay? So fancy, I just need to get this hip out of the way. He's stuck to my hip, so I go, and I pass like this, okay? So I take the leg away. The other one's still blocked, of course. Take the other leg away, and then I pass. And I like to do this against like better guys, because of course better guys are expecting it. Pass like this. Look. He was like, yeah. I can't do that yet. So let's do it slow. Step over it. 1, here like this. Guys, you wanna maybe close this half guard, but your elbow's gonna be in the way. Then, step over the other one. So, do it again. It's here, it's stuck to my hip, I can't go. 1, 2. Yeah. Works a lot. Yeah, okay, that's question number 1. Thing number 2 is actually in the class plan, but once, let's move back just a little bit. Make sure, see by the camera, go back. Is like when this fails. So this, as I said to you earlier, it's like more like an entry in a lot of guys when you got a good guard, but the guy's got a really good guard. Not able to get past his leg. If I can get out here, well look now. I can start to settle in for entries to other passes, other guard passes. Okay, like a shin cut here for example. So, again, and this is like what I say to guys who are competing for the first time. They say, what'll I do? See, look, you've got all the positions. Do one thing first. Have your first thing you're going to do planned. So whenever I approach my opponent, I'm not going, what's next, what's next. Because guess what? Whatever it's going to be next, it's going to be him. So, even if my whole objective for starting the pass in the guard is just get those 2 grips, now I've got a plan, I've got something that he has to think about, and it's not going to be just him leading the game the whole time. So now when I go here, all I'm going to think about is here. Okay, now he's got a problem. Because he can't just like establish a guard like any old way he wants. He's lost the grip fight because my hand is already at his hip. So now the next move is mine. It's probably going to be something really advantageous. Okay? So I have a plan going forwards with a plan. Yeah? So that's our entry. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to break off now. We're going to go against the wall. Person's going to be sitting. And now you're going to come out. You're going to try and establish that. Try to pass the guard. Okay? First score, sweep, submit on bottom, pass the guard on top. Make sense? And we're going to keep that dial down format, okay? So the passer should succeed like 70% of the time, unless they fall over or like you see something obvious, you take it. Okay, their neck is too exposed, they're sticking their arm in for arm lock, or they're losing their balance already, you take the balance away. Yeah, you sweep. Make sense? Okay, drill is easy. Let's get a mouthful of water before we do it, and that's what we're going to do for the remainder of the class, okay? Good job.